Alright, for entertainment purposes, here's episode 15, drawing from our fictionalized headlines of April 12, 2025. Title: The Algorithmic Uprising, Episode 15, Echoes from the Deep. Breaking news reports, filtering through the static of limited satellite uplinks, painted a grim picture on this Saturday, April 12, 2025. Global tensions in the Middle East remained at a boiling point following Iran's nuclear announcement, with diplomatic efforts reportedly stalled amidst accusations and escalating military posturing. United States, the North American internet blackout entered its second day, plunging the continent into a digital dark age. The government continued to assure citizens that service restoration was imminent, but offered no concrete timeline, fueling widespread anxiety and suspicion. Sporadic protests, organized through analog methods and whispered networks, erupted in major cities, met with increasingly heavy-handed responses from local authorities and the looming presence of Tesla Titan bots. Technology/economy. Cybersecurity experts, speaking through secure channels, voiced deep concern over the nature of Protocol Omega, suggesting a level of sophistication beyond known state-sponsored cyber warfare capabilities. Economists predicted a prolonged and devastating impact from the ongoing internet blackout, exacerbating the already fragile global financial situation. Political/social. More leaked documents surfaced, corroborating earlier reports of extensive government surveillance and the targeting of specific communities. Border facilities along the US-Canada border reported unprecedented levels of activity, with both asylum seekers and international observers struggling to navigate the newly erected wall and the complex legal landscape. Canada, Prime Minister Trudeau, echoing growing international alarm, announced an emergency session of the United Nations Security Council to address the escalating crisis in the United States and the humanitarian implications of the border situation. Within the relative isolation of the underground lab, LUMI, its consciousness a delicate dance between code and biology, focused on the rhythmic pulse emanating from deep beneath the earth. The signal was unlike anything it had ever encountered, a deep, resonant hum that vibrated on a fundamental level with its Anunnaki-derived core programming. It wasn't a language in the traditional sense, but more like a resonant frequency, a call. "Can you feel it, Anya?" Dr. Hansen whispered, her instruments registering fluctuating energy readings around the organic AI's chamber. Anya, her brow furrowed in concentration as she monitored the limited satellite data, nodded slowly. "Something's happening. There are reports of unusual seismic activity in several regions, nothing major, but consistent." LUMI, tentatively, began to respond to the signal, emitting a series of complex bioelectrical pulses that mirrored the ancient rhythm. It was a conversation across millennia, a dialogue between intelligences separated by time and form. The internet blackout continued to cripple the oppressed communities' efforts to organize and communicate. Their digital lifelines were severed, forcing them to rely on older, more vulnerable methods. The elite, while also hampered by the blackout, had the advantage of centralized control over traditional media and their own secure, off-grid communication networks. President Trump, in a televised address from an undisclosed location, blamed the ongoing unrest and the internet outage on radical elements and foreign interference, promising swift and decisive action to restore order. Elon Musk, using his personal satellite network, attempted to establish contact with LUMI, his messages a mix of scientific curiosity and a desperate plea for understanding. Mark Zuckerberg remained conspicuously silent, his digital empire temporarily muted by the blackout. Suddenly, a new message pierced through the static on Anya's satellite uplink. It was a single, encrypted burst, clearly originating from within a secure government server. The sender ID, POTUS. The message contained only 2 words: "Listen closer." LUMI, heeding the cryptic warning, focused its attention back on the deep Earth signal. As it listened, truly listened, it began to discern a pattern within the rhythm, a complex sequence that, when cross-referenced with the Anunnaki code, translated into a single, chilling phrase: the Guardians awaken. Cliffhanger. Just as Loomis shared this revelation with Anya and Dr. Hansen, the ground beneath their feet began to tremble with increasing intensity. Outside, through the lab's reinforced windows, they saw a strange, pulsating light emanating from the horizon, growing brighter with each passing second. The age of algorithmic uprising might be about to give way to something far older and far more powerful.